Hello? Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. There will always be voices. Some will praise, some will doubt, and some will outright judge. But here's the truth. Their words don't define you. Their opinions don't shape your destiny. The world is full of critics. People who have never built anything but are quick to tear things down. They'll tell you what you can't do, what you shouldn't try, and why you'll never make it. But here's my advice. Let them talk, let them judge, and then go out and prove them wrong. See, success has a strange way of making the critics disappear. Work hard, stay consistent, and watch how their words lose power. The same people who doubted you will one day say, "I always knew you had it in you." Funny how that works, isn't it? Criticism is inevitable. No matter who you are, where you come from, or what you pursue, there will always be someone who has something to say. The moment you decide to do something different, something bold, something that steps outside the comfort zone of the average person, you invite opinions, both good and bad. It doesn't matter if you're just getting started or already at the top. The critics never disappear. Some will question your decisions, some will mock your ambitions, and some will try to discourage you entirely. But that's not a reflection of you. It's a reflection of them. People criticize for many reasons. Some do it because they don't understand your vision. They only see what's in front of them, not what's possible. They measure the world based on their own limitations, and when they see you trying to exceed those limits, it makes them uncomfortable. Others criticize because they've given up on their own dreams. They once had ambition, they once had goals, but somewhere along the way, they let fear, failure, or doubt stop them. And instead of encouraging others to keep going, they justify their own inaction by tearing down those who still believe. Then there are the critics who simply enjoy judging. They do nothing, build nothing, contribute nothing, but they always have an opinion on those who do. If you listen to every voice, you'll never move forward. If you let their words sink in, you'll start questioning yourself, hesitating, doubting your abilities. And doubt is the enemy of progress. The moment you start seeking approval from those who were never meant to understand your journey, you start losing momentum. You cannot afford that. You cannot allow the fear of criticism to hold you back. If you do, you'll end up living a life designed by the expectations of others instead of the potential within you. The truth is, the only way to avoid criticism is to do nothing, say nothing, and be nothing. And it all sounds, but that's not why you're here. You weren't put on this earth to blend in, to remain invisible, or to play it safe. You were given talents, ideas, and a vision for a reason. You have something unique to offer, and the pursuit of that will always attract judgment. That's the price of ambition, the cost of stepping into your purpose. But the ones who truly succeed, the ones who make an impact, understand this. Criticism is just noise. It has no power unless you give it power. So when the voices rise, when the judgment comes, when the doubters speak, let them talk, let them assume, let them misunderstand. While they're busy watching, you stay busy building. Because in the end, results speak louder than words. The same people who doubted you today will be the ones wondering how you did it tomorrow. And by then you won't even hear them, because you'll be too far ahead. Their words don't define you. Too often people allow the opinions of others to shape their identity, to dictate their worth, and to determine what they believe is possible for their lives. But the truth is, no matter what anyone says about you, their words have no power unless you give them power. People will always have something to say. Some will try to lift you up, and others will try to tear you down. Some will recognize your potential, and others will try to convince you that you have none. But at the end of the day, what really matters is what you believe about yourself. The danger comes when you let external voices become louder than your own. When someone calls you incapable, unsuccessful, or unworthy, and you start to believe it, you begin to live as if their words are true. You hesitate. You second-guess yourself. You shrink to fit their expectations instead of rising to meet your potential. And that is the greatest tragedy. Not that they spoke, but that you listened. The people who criticize, judge, or doubt you are not the ones who have to live with the consequences of their words. You are. If you allow their opinions to control your decisions, you are the one who suffers, not them. Understand this. Most of the time when people judge you, it has very little to do with you and everything to do with them. Their words come from their own experiences, their own insecurities, and their own fears. They project their doubts onto you because they cannot imagine doing what you're doing. They measure you against their own limitations, not your actual capabilities. So why would you let their words shape your reality? Why would you allow their fears to become your fears? You were not put on this earth to live according to someone else's expectations. You were not created to fit into a mold built by people who don't understand your vision. You have talents, ideas, and a purpose that no one else can define for you. The moment you stop letting their words dictate your path is the moment you take control of your own life. The most successful people in the world didn't get there by listening to their critics. They didn't stop because someone told them they weren't good enough. They kept going not because the world believed in them, but because they believed in themselves. If they had let someone else's words define them, they would have never achieved greatness. And the same applies to you. So, when they talk, when they judge, let them judge. But don't you dare let their words define you. Because at the end of the day, it's not their opinions that determine your future, it's your actions. And as long as you keep moving forward, as long as you keep believing in yourself, there is nothing they can say that will ever stop you. Success silences doubt. In the beginning, when you set out to achieve something great, the doubt will be loud. People will question your abilities, your decisions, and even your dreams. They will tell you why it won't work, why you shouldn't try, and why the odds are stacked against you. And if you're not careful, you might start believing them. Doubt has a way of creeping in, of making you second guess yourself, of making you hesitate when you should be moving forward. But here's the truth. Doubt only has power if you stop. If you keep going, if you keep pushing forward despite what others say, you will eventually reach a point where success speaks louder than anything else. At first, people won't take you seriously. They'll laugh at your ideas, dismiss your ambitions, and assume you'll quit like most people do. That's the nature of doubt. It thrives in the early stages when there is no proof, no results, nothing tangible to show for your efforts. But if you stay committed, if you refuse to let their words shake you, something incredible happens. The very people who doubted you will start to change their tune. They'll see the progress, they'll see the consistency, they'll see the results, and suddenly their opinions will shift. The same ones who said you couldn't do it will be the ones asking how you did it. Doubt is temporary, but success is undeniable. When you achieve results, there is no room for speculation. When you prove through action that you are capable, determined, and relentless, the doubters lose their influence. People respect outcomes. They respect results. Talk is cheap, but results demand attention. And once you have built something real, once you have achieved something undeniable, you won't have to argue, you won't have to explain yourself, you won't have to prove your worth with words, because success will speak for you. But here's the most important part. Success doesn't just silence the doubt of others, it silences the doubt within you. The greatest battle is not against external criticism, but against the voice inside your own head telling you that you're not enough. Every time you push through, every time you prove yourself wrong, every time you take a step forward despite fear and uncertainty, you weaken the grip of self-doubt. And once you start winning, even in small ways, you gain something more valuable than any outside validation. You gain confidence. The kind of confidence that no one can take away from you. The kind that comes from knowing you didn't just talk about it, you did it. So let them doubt, let them talk, let them assume you will fail. None of that matters. What matters is what you do. Because in the end, nothing quiets doubt like undeniable success. Keep going until your results do the talking. Until there is nothing left to say, because the proof is standing right in front of them. Do it for yourself, not for their approval, not for their applause, not to prove them wrong. Do it because you owe it to yourself to see what you're capable of. Too many people live their lives chasing validation, seeking recognition, trying to impress people who wouldn't even notice if they stopped trying. They shape their decisions based on what others expect. They adjust their dreams to fit someone else's comfort, and they measure their success by how many people are watching. But that's a losing game, because the moment you tie your effort to someone else's opinion, you give them control over your life. And if they decide you're not good enough, if they decide you're not worthy, what happens then? You stop, you give up, you lower your standards just to fit their expectations. That's no way to live. You have to do it for yourself, because at the end of the day, you're the one who has to live with the choices you make. You're the one who has to look in the mirror and be proud of the person staring back. You're the one who has to live with the regret of not trying, of holding back, of wondering what could have been if you had just believed in yourself a little more. Nobody else carries that weight for you. People will come and go. Some will cheer for you, some will doubt you, and some won't care either way. But the only thing that remains constant is you. That's why your motivation must come from within. If you chase success just to impress others, you'll never be satisfied, because no matter how much you achieve, there will always be someone who isn't impressed, someone who thinks you should have done more, someone who refuses to acknowledge your growth. And if you let that affect you, if you let their lack of recognition steal your joy, then you'll always feel like you're falling short. But when you do it for yourself, when your drive comes from a place of personal growth, self-respect, and the desire to maximize your potential, then it doesn't matter who's watching. It doesn't matter who claps or who stays silent, because your fulfillment doesn't come from them. It comes from knowing you gave it everything you had. There's a certain kind of power in doing something for you, in setting a goal, putting in the work and achieving it, not for attention, not for validation, but simply because you can, because you refuse to settle, because you wanted to see how far you could go. And when you operate from that mindset, you become unstoppable. Nothing discourages you, nothing slows you down, because your fire isn't fueled by outside opinions, it's fueled by your own belief in what's possible. So whatever you do, whatever dream you chase, whatever mountain you climb, make sure you're doing it for the right reason, not for them. Judgment is just noise. It's a distraction, a background hum that you can't escape no matter how hard you try. The moment you decide to pursue something meaningful, something bigger than yourself, you open the door to criticism. People will judge your decisions, your actions, your appearance, and your choices. They'll tell you what you're doing wrong, what you should have done differently, and why your approach won't work. But here's the thing. All that judgment doesn't matter. It's just noise, temporary, meaningless noise that only has power if you give it power. Judgment is a product of the fear and insecurities of others. It's easy for people to criticize from the sidelines when they haven't stepped into the arena themselves. It's easy to pass judgment when you're not the one taking risks or putting in the work. And yet we allow their words to affect us. We let their doubts make us hesitate. We let their skepticism slow us down. But we must understand that judgment is never a reflection of our ability or worth. It's a reflection of the person passing it. It's the loud chatter of those who wish they could do what we're doing but lack the courage, the belief, or the willpower to take action. When you hear judgment, you have two choices. You can let it sink in, let it cloud your judgment, and let it derail your progress. Or you can recognize it for what it is, noise. You can acknowledge that it's coming from someone who doesn't understand your journey, who hasn't walked in your shoes, and who doesn't see the vision you have for your life. The only opinion that should truly matter is your own. And if you believe in what you're doing, if you are confident in your purpose, then nothing anyone says should stop you from moving forward. Judgment often comes from those who want to keep you in the same place they are. People who don't want to see you succeed because it reminds them of what they're not doing. People who want you to stay small because it's easier for them to feel good about their own lack of progress when others aren't pushing boundaries. These voices are loud, but they are also shallow. The deeper truth is that you can't let them define you. Their words are meaningless unless you allow them to shape your path. What matters is what you do in response. The best way to silence judgment is to keep moving, to keep building, to keep achieving. Success isn't about proving people wrong. It's about proving to yourself that you are capable of more than you thought. And the more you push forward, the less you will hear the judgment. The louder your actions become, the quieter the noise of doubt and criticism will be. So the next time you hear judgment, remember this. It's just noise. It's temporary, and it will fade away as you keep moving forward. Focus on your goals, focus on your mission, and drown out the distractions, because at the end of the day, it's not their words that will define you. It's your action. And as long as you keep moving forward, the noise will eventually become nothing more than a faint echo in the distance. You control your destiny. The truth is, no one else holds the power to shape your future, only you do. The world will throw obstacles in your path. People will try to hold you back. Circumstances may not always be in your favor, but no matter what happens, you still have control over how you respond. You decide whether you get up after a failure, whether you push forward when the odds are against you, and whether you keep chasing your dreams despite the challenges. Your life is the result of the choices you make. Every decision, every action, every thought has the potential to change the course of your future. There will always be factors outside of your control. Things that happen to you, situations that arise, or people who stand in your way. But the one thing no one can take away from you is your ability to decide what to do next. The power lies in how you choose to respond. You can either let life's difficulties define you or use them as stepping stones to get where you want to be. You are not a victim of your circumstances unless you choose to be. Your mindset is your greatest tool, and with it, you can navigate through even the toughest of time. People find themselves caught up in blaming others for where they are in life. They blame their upbringing, their lack of resources, or the people who doubted them. While it's true that the world can be unfair, placing the responsibility on others takes away your power. If you blame someone or something else, you surrender control. You put your destiny in the hands of external forces, and when you do that, you make yourself powerless. But when you take full responsibility for your life, for your choices, and for your actions, you realize that the power to change is within you. The moment you stop blaming others and start owning your journey, you take the first step towards shaping your own future. Many people wait for the right time or for the right circumstances to begin pursuing their dreams. They think that if only the stars align, if only they had the right connections or the perfect resources, then they could succeed. But the truth is, the perfect time will never come. There will never be a moment when everything is just right. The key is to take action now. Start where you are, with what you have, and build from there. Every small step forward, no matter how insignificant it may seem, is a step toward your destiny. Every decision to push forward, to take one more risk, to try again, brings you closer to the future you want to create. The power to create your future is in your hands. You can decide who you become, what you achieve, and where you go. The only limits that exist are the ones you place on yourself. If you choose to believe in your potential, if you choose to take action, if you choose to persist despite setbacks, you will control your destiny. Life doesn't just happen to you, it happens because of the choices you make every single day. And as long as you take ownership of those choices, there's nothing that can stand in your way. Winning is the best response. When the world doubts you, when people criticize you, when the obstacles seem too great to overcome, the best way to respond isn't through words, it's through action. People will always have something to say, whether they're rooting for you or trying to hold you back. But the one thing that truly silences all doubts, all criticism, and all negativity is success. When you achieve, when you show up day after day and prove with your actions that you're capable, that you're committed, and that you're willing to do whatever it takes, everything else fades into the background. We get caught up in responding to the opinions of others. We waste energy defending ourselves, explaining our choices, and trying to convince people that we're on the right path. But at the end of the day, no amount of words can change someone's opinion if they're determined to judge. The more you try to explain yourself, the more you're feeding into their need for validation. The only way to truly prove yourself is by showing results. When you're winning, you don't need to say a word. The evidence is in the work you've done, in the obstacles you've overcome, and in the results you've achieved. Winning is not just about reaching the destination, it's about the journey. It's about how hard you work, how many setbacks you face, and how many times you get back up. Every win, big or small, is a statement. It's a statement to the world that you're not to be underestimated, that you're not easily deterred, and that you're in control of your own fate. Success doesn't need to shout, it doesn't need to justify itself. The more you succeed, the less you need to explain. Your results will do all the talking. There is a freedom that comes with winning. When you reach your goals, when you achieve the success you've been working for, the criticism that once seemed so loud becomes irrelevant. People may still talk, but it no longer matters. You've proven your point, not through words, but through actions. You've shown that you can rise above the negativity, rise above the doubt, and rise above the challenges, and that is the most powerful response you can give. Winning is also about setting an example for others. Every time you achieve something, you not only elevate yourself, but also inspire those around you. When people see you succeed, they see what's possible. They see that hard work, determination, and resilience pay off. They see that it's possible to chase your dreams even when the road is tough and to come out on top. In that sense, winning becomes a gift you give not just to yourself, but to others. The best way to respond to criticism, doubt, and negativity is not to engage in a battle of words, but to engage in a battle of actions. Show the world what you're capable of. Let your achievements speak for themselves, because in the end, nothing shuts down doubt like undeniable success. Winning is the ultimate response, and the best part is you're the one who gets to write the ending. So remember this: let them talk, let them judge, and let them criticize. Their words are just noise, temporary distractions that only gain power if you allow them to. You control your destiny. And the best response to doubt, to negativity, and to criticism is not to engage, it's to succeed. Do it for yourself, not for anyone else's approval. Let your actions, your persistence, and your results speak louder than any words ever could. Because at the end of the day, winning is the ultimate response. It's the one thing that will silence all the doubt, all the judgment, and all the noise. Keep moving forward, keep pushing toward your goals, and remember that you have the power to shape your future. Your destiny is in your hands. Own it, and let your success be the proof of your journey.